Hey folks, it's Jared Mananen from the website TahoeTrailGuide.com. I'm going to bring you another short video or tutorial about body positioning and how we can work toward getting that ideal classic cross-country ski body position. I'm going to be showing you a couple different body movements that can help you embody this position. Brief recap: tuck, drop, lean, and then I talked about getting into more of a diagonal stride position where we're actually looking at the angles of our body to determine whether or not we're in a good position. We're going to be looking at our shin angle, our back angle, and our pole angle, and for the most part they should be approximately the same degree. So what I'd like to do now is just jokingly referred to as like a stumble shuffle. So we're trying to develop a neutral spine by tucking our tailbone a little bit, dropping our weight, and then leaning forward. What we don't want to do is when we lean forward, bring our leg way out. We want to avoid getting our legs, or our feet specifically, too far forward of the center of our body. The reason for that is that once we bring our legs forward, now we're pulling ourselves up and over our skis and then pushing off. Better to land where we're pretty much right on top of our feet or slightly in front of them. This admittedly is a little bit advanced for beginners, so it's something to work toward. This stumble shuffle, this kind of silly sounding movement, but it's just a way in which to learn to not take such a big step forward when striding, when diagonal striding. So tucking, dropping, leaning, and we're basically trying to teach ourselves how not to take a big step in front of our bodies. So tucking, dropping, leaning. We can do this with the skis. Just trying to drill out of our body, out of our minds, the idea that we need to be doing lunges when we're cross-country skiing. We shouldn't be doing lunges. Lunges take way more energy than what we want to be expending, especially if we plan on skiing for like a long distance. So part of that not doing lunges thing is preventing ourselves from doing that. And it's a hard habit to break because ultimately what we're doing is we're trying to fight gravity here. The reason that when I get into position before leaning, I could stand here, right? But at this point, I'm literally falling over. If I didn't catch myself, I would just fall flat out on my face. So the natural instinct is to put your foot forward, but we don't want to put it too far forward. You know, diagonal striding in some respects is always just this constant state of being in a falling, a state of falling, and catching ourselves at the last minute and then pushing off and repeating. If we just stood upright and if all we did was walk, that's fine. It's, you know, that's moving around on skis, but it's not necessarily doing diagonal striding. And it's not as efficient because we're not capitalizing on gravity by falling forward and catching that fall so that we can glide on it. So there's all these little subtle things that go on with cross-country skiing that if you're not paying attention, if you're not like doing a deep dive or study, it probably wouldn't come natural, because as humans we want to stay upright, we don't want to fall over, we don't want to voluntarily put ourselves in some sort of off balance position, and that's understandable. But cross-country skiing, single leg balance, gliding over uneven surface, we're not doing natural necessarily, we're doing something that eventually becomes a natural body movement after you've done it enough times. But to break out of just regular walking forward and heel striking, for example, we need to unlearn that to some degree so that we can stride properly. Now I'm going to show you the second movement that I had in mind that will help us develop some stability while we're on one foot while striding. Again, not necessarily skiing, but it is skiing related, and it's a movement that we do need to learn. So what we're going to do is we're get into a stride position. So one leg forward, opposite hand forward, kind of looking at our angles, our shin, our pole, and our back. And then what I want to do is just hop up, directly up, and I want to do so using the front half of my foot, bringing everything with me and just hopping up and working on landing on one foot at a time. A lot of people's first instinct is to keep that pull down and use that to push them up, but don't do that. Bring it with you. You're just kind of like the statue that happens to have a real springy ankle. And you can do this with a little bit more additional movement. So you can hop up, take a step forward, hop, take a step forward, hop, take a step forward, hop. Yeah, just learning that buoyancy, the flexibility in our ankles, knees, and hips. All right, same thing. We could just start, you know, from a standstill here, hopping up, switching sides. We're not trying to launch ourselves into outer space. We're just hopping a little bit, developing that landing on front half of our foot, trying to avoid coming down on a total flat foot. This becomes a little bit more challenging simply because you're on skis and they want to slide a little bit. Doing this also encourages us to feel what it's like to get all of our weight onto one ski. All right, one final recap here. We're gonna tuck, drop, lean. Let's get into a diagonal stride position from here. Let's look at our shin, our back, and our pull. And then from here, kind of that natural progression, I guess, would be to just work on that hop experience. Before that, though, we did the little stumble shuffle, so tuck, drop, lean. Anyway, just some more things that you can work on to develop really good body positioning when diagonal striding. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out TahoeTrailGuide.com for more information about cross-country skiing and snowshoeing. Thank you to all of my supporters, subscribers. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Take care.